Well, here we are. This is lesson number 3 of my learning project. For those of you that haven't been following along, to quickly recap, this is part of my pre-service teacher course I'm teaching at the University of Regina, where each student will be involved in a learning project, and I am modeling that by learning how to play the guitar. So looking back, here's some highlights. Here's the highlight reel of our learning so far. Here I am in week 1. You can see I suck. I don't know what I'm doing. Move to last week, and this is what I was able to show you. That chord, which is an E minor chord, and then the other one is a D, which if I can play, I would. All right, not a lot better, but at any rate, one of the great things about this project, and one of the things that I'm hoping my students begin to explore, is how to get better. What are the things you need to do to improve? And one of the things that I did is post it to my blog. I was fortunate to get a few comments. First comment from this guy, and Brian reminded me that low notes travel better than high notes, and so that I was to focus my strumming on the low notes, and I'll generally get away with that a little bit better. Another great comment I got was from this guy, who pointed me in the direction of this guy, who really helps in reinforcing a lot of things and giving me some really clear instruction on some of the specifics.
And the third finger are both really close to the second fret, which is great, and only the first finger has to be back a bit. And this is the fingering for an A chord that I really recommend.
Justin Guitar is just an excellent resource, and I think it really represents one of the great examples of using the web. Justin Guitar, all his stuff is online for free. He does ask for people to donate, so I think being that I've taken advantage of him and will continue to take advantage of them, I think I owe it to him to leave him a little donation thanking him for him being my teacher. He doesn't know he's my teacher, but he is, as are all the people who are willing to share their expertise with me. So with that, I have been working, and I will I'll give you my demonstration of where I'm at so far. So if you recall, or if you didn't, probably better if you didn't, I've been trying to learn a particular song, and I'm going to kind of play through the chords. Now it's going to be brutal, so easy. Don't give me too much grief. But here's where I am 3 weeks into my guitar. I think I can kind of get the chords in order here. Here we go. Oh, that's bad. Pressure's on. Maybe you got it, maybe you didn't. Anyways, so as you can see, I am now trying to put these chords together and play a song, which got me thinking about really instruction in general and the way in which a lot of learning at times focuses really on isolated skills. And I was thinking back to my days as a primary teacher. Many of you don't know, or some of you do know, that I taught grade 1 for, I don't know, 7 years. So I'm teaching kids how to read, and I'm hoping that we have some literate kids out there as a result of my teaching, but I guess I may not know that. But at that time, of course, this was in the late 80s, and then probably somewhere around the early 80s is when the idea of whole language instruction came around, and a lot of criticisms, of course, around that kind of teaching, because there were people saying, well, that means kids aren't learning phonics and all kinds of other things, which were really not accurate. But that's what many people thought of things like whole language instruction. And yet the philosophy behind it was that we don't learn anything in isolation, that we learn how to read by reading, and we begin with the whole, the big picture. And for me, that fits in really well with the way I like to learn. And thinking about the guitar in particular, I was a little hesitant because I didn't want to simply learn drills or here's a bunch of chords in isolation. I wanted to learn how to play a song. So in my practicing, I have been, thinking about playing a song, because for me, that's what I want to be able to do. I don't just want to play chords. I want to play songs. And so I moved, probably too quickly, maybe some would say, but for me, I needed to be able to start working on the idea of actually being able to play songs. And so I don't know, because I'm doing a lot of this is sort of just on my own and finding resources. I'm not following a specific program or book. I'm just learning as I go and practicing a lot. And I've put in, I probably put in a half an hour a day. And because I've got a song, actually I probably practice more this week. And I think you probably could tell by how awesome I am playing. But I'm enjoying it, because I can see purpose behind it. So that's been really something I've been thinking about as I have been learning this. Is what does that balance look like? How much of it? How much specific skill? I mean, the Justin guitar stuff is great because I can see, specific that I need to get better, improve these very, very, precise fingering, and of course the transition. All those are skills that in some respect, have to be learned in isolation, but always around a purpose. So, being able to customize my own learning to learn those skills and at the same time reach the purpose that I have, and that's to be able to play songs, right? So, again, as my students are going through this process, I hope they're doing that kind of thinking around the learning process and just how we learn, and how maybe different skills have different approaches. And I'm curious to see how others do. So with that, that's it. And this was a little longer than I've gone in the past, but oh well, if you're still watching by now, I guess. If not, I guess I gotta figure out a way to do this video better. Right, Alan?